Hi, Greg, Start House. Today, I'm gonna show you guys how to build a time machine. Is that the one we're doing? No. Oh, it's not. That's tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Greg, Start House. Okay. Version 2, the updated, more advanced version of Derailleur hanger alignment tools. I know this one really good. This is the Park DAG 2.2. I know a bunch of people make these, and I'm sure that these things vary and there's some that are better. I know that some have a little ruler in there. This still applies, this advanced lesson. This is advanced lesson time that we're gonna do. We're gonna go over two things. Thing number one is the fact that if we look closely between the end of the measuring device and the rim, these tools almost all have a little bit of wiggle because they do pivot around this mount right here. So there's always a little bit of play in this joint in here. And if you own one of these tools, you'll know what you got and what you don't. But it's gonna have some of this. So one important thing to recognize with these tools is that when I use this thing, I always hold out just ever so slightly with the play of this, so I'm sure that I'm getting an accurate reading on the side of the rim. So in other words, I'm gonna put this against my rim, holding lightly out, barely touching. I just have a little tension on this with my thumb. I'm pulling back a little bit this way with my middle finger, snugging that up, and now that's my gospel point. When I go down to check at my 6 o'clock position, this hanger, like almost every one of them, is bent in because the derailleur took a shot. If we look at this derailleur, we got marks, we got marks, we got marks. One of these marks is a hit and pushed the hanger in. And that's why the gauge is showing me. And the wiggle, I mean, I can hold out on this, but we're still out. So that's an important part of using this tool effectively on getting the shifting super dialed. The next thing to know is that obviously, because we're talking about this range of slop here is just a couple millimeters, and almost every mountain bike that you're going to throw on the stand, the wheel is going to be out of true a couple millimeters. A lot of times in the shop, we just true the wheels real quick because you can use this as my true gauge. I'll just lay this down here, put this in, spin the wheel, and use this as my sight to true the wheel and get it pretty good, because we're usually doing this in conjunction with a tune-up. But if you wanted to shortcut this and you're not doing any tuning work to the rest of the bike, the easy thing to do, and what we do is, again, hold out, push in, lock my adjuster rod in place, and then I'm just going to follow the valve around. So we'll see how this one lines up. Okay, so same kind of deal. So this hanger needs to bend this way to get things a little straighter here. So I'll bring the valve back up to the top, and I'm tight in there. So we're going to loosen, we're going to hold out, slight pressure in, and again, I'm using probably 2 inch-pounds of force. This doesn't take much. I've just taken the slop out of the tool. So I'm just barely rubbing. I'm gonna come down here, and I need a little more, so I'm gonna give it a little more cold setting. So I got the same feeling. So the bending that I thought I was doing was not actually bending the hanger. So we'll go a little more on this. And if you do this a lot, you will break a hanger at some point. I got 20 of these in a box up there, so I'm not afraid to give it a little bit on this, but if you're doing this and you don't have a spare hanger, you can break these. It's the nature of the business here. So we'll bring the valve up again, so I'm tight, so we're gonna come out. Slight pressure out, slight pressure in, make it touch. I'm just rubbing. And in here, slight pressure out, I'm just rubbing. Go over here to 9 o'clock. I'm rubbing a little proud, not too bad, and I got space. Okay, so We're gonna come back here to 9 o'clock where things are pretty tight, and I'm gonna give it just a little bit. When you do this a lot too, you'll find the hangers will bend easier in one direction than another, and you'll just learn that by trial and error. As with most things, start easy and go more as you need. So I'm barely rubbing. I got a little bit of space. I'm rubbing pretty proud over there. I'm barely rubbing, so we're gonna give this a little more. Barely rubbing. I got a little space. Barely rubbing. And there, I'm just touching. I'm just touching. I'm just touching. And I'm just touching. And that's all done the same way with just holding out just a little bit of pressure out on the tool to take away the slop in the tool. So, adding on to last week's lesson, if you're working on old 8, 9 speed stuff, you almost don't have to worry about that. But in today's modern 12 speed drivetrains, this is really important for the alignment of this hanger to be dead on, because if that's off, the best cable tension in the world isn't gonna make the bike shift right. Okay, that's what I got. See you guys. All right, I'm going to lunch. Brad, I'm going to lunch, I said. E-bike charger.
The charger that goes from the charger to the bike on the Derailleur.
Yeah.
She's looking for that cable.
Actually,
See if they had it. If not, I guess she's talked to someone on the
The majority of the work that you see done back here is usually done by me. So if you come with tips,
Get out of my
feel
way.
free to bring them back to me.
You go.